5 signs it's obsession, not love. You think it's love, the intensity, the jealousy, the constant need to be together, the way they can't stand you talking to anyone else. It feels like passion. It feels like they care so much. But it's not love, it's obsession. And there's a massive difference. Love sets you free. Obsession imprisons you. Love trusts. Obsession controls. Love enhances your life. Obsession consumes it. By the end of this video, you'll know the 5 signs that what you're experiencing isn't love, it's obsession. Obsession disguised as love is dangerous, toxic, and can destroy your mental health and sense of self. Sign 1. It's all-consuming and you can't function without them. Unhealthy dependency. Healthy love enhances your life. You're better, happier, more complete with your partner, but you can still function independently. Obsession makes you unable to function without the other person. Your entire emotional state depends on their availability, attention, and mood. You can't concentrate on work, hobbies, friends, or life when they're not around. Your mood completely depends on their attention. When they text back, you're euphoric. When they don't, you're devastated. Their availability determines your entire emotional state. You can't regulate your own emotions. They control how you feel. Emotional regulation should be internal, not dependent on another person. Healthy love adds to your life. Obsession makes you emotionally unstable. You can't focus on anything else, can't work, study, or be present because you're obsessively thinking about them. Constantly checking phone for messages, refreshing social media. Your life has shrunk to only them. Everything else feels meaningless. Obsession hijacks your attention and productivity. Love energizes you for life. Obsession drains you of everything else. Physical separation causes extreme anxiety. Being apart feels unbearable, causes panic or intense distress. You need constant contact to feel okay. Time apart feels like torture rather than healthy space. Healthy couples can miss each other while maintaining independence. Missing someone versus inability to function without them, very different things. And you've lost your sense of self. Can't remember who you were before the relationship. Your identity has merged completely with theirs. You have no independent interests, goals, or identity. Losing yourself in a relationship is obsession, not love. Obsession erases individuality. Love celebrates it. Why this is dangerous? Dependency creates power imbalance and vulnerability to abuse. You're not in love with person, you're addicted to them. This dependency feels intense, but it's deeply unhealthy. Attachment theory shows anxious attachment versus secure attachment. If you can't function independently, it's obsession. When Riley started dating Cameron, everything else disappeared. Riley couldn't focus at work, constantly checking phone for Cameron's texts. When Cameron didn't respond quickly, Riley felt panic and devastation. Riley stopped seeing friends, abandoned hobbies, and spent every moment either with Cameron or thinking about Cameron. Riley's therapist said, "You're not in a relationship, you're addicted to a person." Riley thought, "But that's how you know it's real love, this intensity." The therapist explained, "Intensity isn't intimacy. This consuming feeling is obsession, and it's destroying your life." When the relationship eventually ended, Riley had nothing left. No friends, no hobbies, no identity. Riley realized that hadn't been love. It had been unhealthy dependency disguised as passion. Real love would have enhanced Riley's life, not consumed it. So assess independence. Can you function, work, and feel okay when they're not around? Notice emotional regulation. Do you control your emotions or does their attention? Rebuild identity. If you've lost yourself, reclaim interests and friendships. Seek therapy. Anxious attachment and codependency need professional help. Sign 2. Jealousy and possessiveness dominate the relationship. Control disguised as care. Obsession breeds extreme jealousy and possessiveness. They or you can't stand the thought of their partner talking to, looking at, or being around anyone else. Every interaction with others feels like a threat. Jealousy feels like proof they care so much, but this isn't love. It's insecurity and control. Extreme jealousy over normal interactions. Gets upset when you talk to opposite-sex friends, co-workers, or anyone. Questions every interaction, accuses you of cheating with no evidence. Sees every person as potential threat. Pathological jealousy is about their insecurity, not your behavior. Trust is foundation of love. Jealousy is foundation of obsession. They monitor and control who you see. Checks your phone, social media, messages, wants passwords, questions where you've been, who you talk to, demands explanations. Doesn't want you seeing friends, especially opposite-sex friends. Monitoring and control are abuse tactics, not love. Love trusts, obsession surveils. Possessive language, you're mine, talks about you as property, not partner. You belong to me, or you're mine, said seriously, not playfully. Gets angry when you assert independence or boundaries. You're a person, not a possession. Ownership language is a red flag. Playful possessiveness versus serious belief they own you, very different things. And isolation from others. Deliberately or subtly isolates you from friends and family, makes you feel guilty for spending time with others, creates drama or conflict around your other relationships. Isolation is abuse tactic. Cutting off support system increases control. Healthy partners encourage outside relationships. Obsessive ones eliminate them. Why this destroys relationships? Constant jealousy creates a toxic, suffocating environment. You lose freedom, friends, and identity. Jealousy escalates. It never gets better without intervention. Research shows pathological jealousy predicts relationship violence. If jealousy dominates the relationship, it's obsession, not love. Jordan was excited about the relationship with Alex. Alex's jealousy seemed like proof of how much Alex cared. Alex would get upset when Jordan talked to coworkers, questioned every outing with friends, and demanded constant updates on Jordan's location. Alex said, "I just love you so much, I can't stand the thought of losing you." Jordan thought it was romantic. Jordan's friends said it was concerning. Over time, Jordan stopped seeing friends because it caused too many fights. Jordan gave Alex all social media passwords. Jordan felt suffocated, but believed this intensity meant true love. After 2 years, Jordan's therapist said, "This isn't love, this is control. Healthy partners don't isolate you and monitor you." Jordan finally left. Looking back, Jordan realized Alex's jealousy hadn't been love. It had been insecurity and obsession. Real love would have enhanced Jordan's life, not imprisoned it. So assess independence. Is jealousy occasional or constant and extreme? Maintain boundaries. Don't give up friends, passwords, or freedom. Address it directly. Your jealousy is unhealthy and needs to change. Don't confuse jealousy with love. Jealousy is insecurity, not affection.
Sign 3. There's no trust, just constant suspicion and anxiety. Fear-based connection. Healthy love is built on trust. You trust your partner, they trust you, and this trust creates security and peace. Obsession is built on fear and suspicion. There's constant anxiety about cheating, lying, leaving. Every action is questioned. Every explanation is doubted. The relationship feels like constant surveillance and investigation. Constant accusations without evidence. Accuses you of cheating, lying, hiding things with no evidence. Creates scenarios in their head and treats them as reality. Your word is never enough. They always suspect more. Trust is earned but also given. Constant distrust is pathological. Can't build relationship on foundation of suspicion. You're always defending yourself. Spend more time defending innocence than enjoying relationship. Feel like you're on trial constantly. exhausted from explaining and proving your loyalty. Healthy relationships don't require constant defense. If you're always defending yourself, you're in toxic dynamic. Anxiety dominates the relationship. Constant worry. Are they mad? Did I do something wrong? Are we okay? Walking on eggshells to avoid triggering their suspicion or anger. The relationship feels unstable and insecure. Love creates security. Obsession creates anxiety. Occasional relationship concerns versus constant pervasive anxiety, very different. And they test you constantly. Sets up tests to see if you'll be loyal, honest, or available. Creates situations to check your reactions. Nothing you do proves your loyalty. Tests never end. Testing reveals insecurity and control needs, not love. Obsessive people never trust. They always fear loss. Why this is exhausting? Living under constant suspicion is emotionally draining. Trust is non-negotiable for healthy relationship. Distrust doesn't improve, it worsens without intervention. Research shows trust versus distrust predicts relationship outcomes. If months pass without trust building, it won't ever. Every day, Sam faced accusations from Taylor. Where were you? Who were you with? Why'd you take so long? Taylor checked Sam's phone, questioned every story, and created elaborate scenarios about Sam cheating. Sam had never been unfaithful, but spent the relationship defending innocence. Sam's friend said, "This isn't normal. You shouldn't have to prove yourself constantly." Sam thought Taylor's suspicion meant Taylor was deeply invested. Sam's therapist corrected, "Taylor's distrust is about Taylor's issues, not your behavior. This constant suspicion is toxic." After a year of exhaustion, Sam left. With a new partner who trusted Sam, Sam realized trust feels peaceful and secure. Taylor's constant suspicion had felt intense, but it was torture disguised as love. Real love trusts. Obsession suspects. So, assess trust levels. Is there baseline trust or constant suspicion? Don't accept false accusations. Stand up for yourself. Innocence shouldn't require proof. Address the pattern. Your constant distrust is damaging our relationship. Consider if it's fixable. Without therapy and work, chronic distrust doesn't change. Sign 4. Love feels conditional, based on control and compliance, not unconditional acceptance. Healthy love is largely unconditional. You're loved for who you are, including flaws and imperfections. Obsession is highly conditional. You're loved only when you comply with their demands, meet their expectations, or behave how they want. Affection is withheld as punishment. Love is weaponized to control behavior. Affection is withheld as punishment. When you don't do what they want, they become cold and distant. Love is turned on and off based on your behavior. Affection is used as reward-punishment tool. Healthy love is consistent. Manipulative love is conditional weapon. Love shouldn't be earned through compliance. If you loved me, you'd... Manipulation. Constantly uses "if you loved me" to manipulate your behavior. Makes their love contingent on you sacrificing boundaries or needs. Uses guilt and emotional manipulation to control. This phrase is manipulation tactic, not expression of love. Love doesn't demand proof through sacrifice of self. They try to change everything about you. Criticizes your appearance, friends, interests, and personality. Wants to mold you into their ideal rather than accepting who you are. You feel constant pressure to be someone you're not. Love says, "I love who you are." Obsession says, "Be who I want." Healthy growth together versus forced transformation. Very different. And you're walking on eggshells, constantly monitoring your behavior to avoid upsetting them. Fear of their reaction controls your choices. You've lost your authentic self trying to keep them happy. Walking on eggshells indicates control dynamic, not love. Control increases over time. You become smaller and smaller. Why this isn't love? Conditional affection is manipulation, not love. Healthy partners accept you, flaws and all. Control destroys authenticity and intimacy. Research shows acceptance predicts satisfaction. Control predicts dysfunction. If you feel you're never good enough, you're being controlled. Every aspect of Casey's life became subject to Morgan's approval. Morgan criticized Casey's clothing, friends, hobbies, and career choices. When Casey pushed back, Morgan would withdraw affection. "Fine, I guess you don't love me enough to consider my feelings." Casey constantly walked on eggshells trying to be whoever Morgan wanted. Casey felt exhausted and lost. Casey's therapist identified the pattern. Morgan doesn't love you. Morgan loves the idea of controlling you. This conditional affection is manipulation. Casey had confused Morgan's intense focus with deep love. But real love would have accepted Casey as is. Morgan's obsession required Casey to disappear into whatever Morgan wanted. Casey finally left, and, with time, learned what real love felt like. Acceptance, not constant criticism and control. Casey realized obsession demands compliance. Love offers acceptance. So, notice conditionality. Is affection consistent or used as reward punishment? Reject "if you loved me" manipulation. Love doesn't demand I sacrifice myself. Maintain boundaries. Don't change core self to please someone. Assess acceptance. Do they love who you are or who they want you to be? Before we get to the final sign, if this video helped you recognize the difference between love and obsession, hit that subscribe button. We help people build healthy relationships and recognize unhealthy ones. Now let's talk about the last sign.
Sign 5. It's intense but shallow. No real depth or true intimacy. Infatuation versus connection. Obsession feels incredibly intense, all-consuming passion, constant thinking about them, overwhelming feelings. But beneath the intensity, there's no real depth. You don't actually know each other deeply. There's no vulnerability, no true understanding of each other's values, dreams, fears. It's surface-level infatuation mistaken for deep love. It happened too fast. I love you within days or weeks. Intense feelings before actually knowing each other. Rush to commitment without building foundation. Healthy love builds gradually. Obsession ignites instantly. Can't love someone you don't actually know. You don't actually know each other deeply. Don't know their values, dreams, fears, real personality. Relationship is all intensity, no substance. Conversations stay surface level despite intensity. Obsession is about the fantasy of person, not actual person. Love requires knowing someone. Obsession requires idealizing someone. There's no real vulnerability. Neither person is truly vulnerable or authentic. Showing real self feels dangerous, might break the fantasy. Relationship exists in idealized, shallow space. Intimacy requires vulnerability. Obsession avoids it. Surface passion versus deep emotional connection, very different. And the relationship is all highs and lows, constant drama, intense passion or intense fighting, no calm, stable middle ground. Relationship feels like an emotional roller coaster. Drama and intensity feel passionate but indicate instability. Obsession is volatile, love is stable. Why intensity isn't intimacy? Intense feelings don't equal deep connection. Obsession is anxious attachment, creating dopamine hits. Real love is slow building, deep knowing connection. Research shows stable relationships outperform passionate, chaotic ones. If months pass without deepening, it's obsession, not love. Within 2 weeks of meeting, Avery and Jordan were saying "I love you" and talking about forever. The intensity was overwhelming. Couldn't stop thinking about each other, constant contact, passionate declarations. Avery thought, this is what real love feels like, this intensity. Months passed. The intensity continued, but Avery realized they never had deep conversations. Avery didn't know Jordan's values, fears, or dreams. They never talked about real things, just maintained this passionate, dramatic dynamic. Avery's friend said, "Do you actually know Jordan, or are you in love with how Jordan makes you feel?" The question rattled Avery. After a year, the relationship crashed. Turns out they were fundamentally incompatible, but the intensity had hidden that. Avery realized intensity isn't intimacy. That overwhelming feeling had been infatuation and obsession, not real love built on actual knowing, vulnerability, and compatibility. Real love would have depth beneath the passion. So slow down. If it's moving too fast, pump the brakes. Get to know them. Go beyond surface. Learn values, dreams, fears. Build vulnerability. Share real selves, not idealized versions. Assess stability. Is relationship stable or constant roller coaster? If you're recognizing these obsession patterns in your relationship and you're worried that what started as obsession might be destroying your partnership, watch our video on the 5 signs your marriage is failing and you don't know it. Understanding how obsession damages long-term relationships could save yours. Links in the description. Obsession feels powerful. It feels like the most intense thing you've ever experienced. And you think, this must be real love. How could anything this strong not be? But obsession isn't love. It's addiction, anxiety, insecurity, and control disguised as passion. These 5 signs, all-consuming dependency, extreme jealousy, constant distrust, conditional affection, and intensity without depth, reveal obsession, not love. Love enhances your life. Obsession consumes it. Love trusts. Obsession controls. Love accepts you. Obsession tries to change you. Love builds over time. Obsession happens instantly and stays shallow. If your relationship is characterized by these signs, you're not in love, you're in obsession. And that's dangerous for both of you. Look honestly at your relationship. Can you function without them, or does your entire emotional state depend on them? Is there trust, or constant jealousy and suspicion? Do they love you unconditionally or only when you comply? Did intense feelings happen before really knowing each other? If you recognized 3 or more signs, you're dealing with obsession, not love. And obsession destroys people. It destroys mental health, identity, and self-worth. Love builds you up. Obsession tears you down. Know the difference. Your well-being depends on it. If this video helped you recognize the difference between love and obsession, subscribe to this channel. We help people build healthy relationships and recognize unhealthy ones. Drop a comment sharing which sign resonated most, or if you escaped an obsessive relationship, share how you recognized it wasn't love. Your story might help someone else. You deserve real love, the kind that trusts you, accepts you, enhances your life, and gives you freedom to be yourself. Not obsession that controls you, doubts you, consumes your identity, and makes you walk on eggshells. Don't confuse intensity with intimacy. Don't confuse jealousy with caring. Don't confuse dependency with devotion. Real love feels safe, stable, and freeing. Obsession feels intense, but imprisoning. Choose love. Reject obsession. You deserve better.